Hey everybody, this is Eric from Aquatics. Hope everybody's doing well today. I just want to take a quick minute and show you how I put together my down and dirty 5 gallon um, bucket filter that I made for my goldfish pond. It's no frills, easy to make, very inexpensive bucket filter. All the stuff that I have that I got that I use for it, except for the polyfill, and I have some of the filter mat, which I got on Amazon. Everything else I got at the Home Depot or the Dollar Tree, and all in all, everything put together is less than $15. So I made the video originally on how I made it, but the file got corrupted, and unfortunately I couldn't do anything with it. So I figured at this point I would just show you how everything goes together. At this point, everybody's seen videos on how to do a bucket filter, how to drill the holes, the bulkheads, and all that stuff. And if not, there's a lot of videos out there that show you how to do that. So the first thing I start with is filter floss on the bottom. I keep it in these plastic colanders that I cut holes out for to fit over the down tube and the inlet and the outlet. And then I pack it around the downspout, which I knocked over, so I got to fix that and put it back in because it didn't go in tightly. So now I pack that down in, and the next thing that I use is some of that filter mat. It's been there I first made it about a week ago. It got a little dirty, not too bad. So I just a little rinse and put it back in. I'm using 2 pieces on here. I want to try to make my water as clear as possible for my fish. To be honest, this is the first year I've really went to this effort on trying to filter the particles out of the water. Every year, when I test my water in the spring and gradually throughout the year, the ammonia is always good. The nitrates are always, the ammonia and the nitrates are 0. And the nitrates aren't very high. At the most, they get like 40 to 60 parts per million. In which I don't really do a lot of water changes in the summer either. I might do 2 or 3 on my pond throughout the summer. But this year, I wanted to try something new, so I thought, why don't I make a bucket filter? And it's not even so much for cleaning the water as it was for I wanted to try it, and I'm enjoying making new things like that. I've already got like 3 or 4 new designs that I want to try. This is the second version that I made of this. The first one I put the hole straight down through the bottom. As I watched somebody's video, that's how they did theirs. But they had theirs sitting up on a stand that had a hole in the bottom. So the pipe came straight down through that and then out. So I had to sit mine on a couple bricks, which was all right, but it after a little while the brick started sinking a little bit. It got a little uneven, so I didn't really care for that. And then it would put pressure on the 90-degree elbow that was coming out of the bottom for the outlet. So I thought, why not make a new design? So this is the one I came up with. So I take these, and the outlet is a 1-inch outlet, and the inlet is a 1/2 inch. So from what I've always understood, and from what I've learned throughout the years, is your outlet should be twice the size of your inlet. Whether that's accurate, I don't know. So if somebody can let me know that in the comments, please. So I just take these scrubbery pads and I line them up around the outside. The first layer I do it so that, well, most of the layers I do it so that they curve up around the edge of the bucket. So to try to catch and minimize the amount of particles that are coming up past it into the scrubby pads that I use. And I use those for my biological filtration. Originally I had a lot more of these scrub pads in there, but I found they were taking up too much room, and once I started filling up with water, everything started to come up a little bit, and it would push my scrubby pads out of the water, so I was losing my beneficial bacteria on those. I mean, so the scrub pads will grow a lot of beneficial bacteria also. So there's a lot of potential for beneficial bacteria in this bucket filter. So that's what I do, is I line it up around there as many times as I can, and I'll periodically take a piece and cut it so that I can put it down over the tubes, and that kind of locks the ones below it in place. Now I probably got 3 or 4 in there, and I might have used the one that I already had cut for one of the sides and not realize it. So eventually, every once in a while, I'll cut another one and use it as that piece. All right, so we'll go and put the last couple in, lock those in place, and I'll have my third layer is done of filtration in this bucket. So the first layer I had the filter floss. So that'll catch a lot of the big particles. That'll catch a lot of that muck. So when the water comes in through the inlet, it swirls in the bottom, and then that the filter floss is up just enough in that colander that it catches a lot of the muck. Some of it will stay on the bottom. A lot of it will stay on the bottom in the water, and what's next, it'll get caught in that filter floss, and then after that, it pushes up, and that filter pad catches a lot of the materials. So a lot of what these scour pads, the ones on the bottom, will catch the remainder of the particles that come up through, and then the rest are pretty much just biological filtration to go along with these scrubby pads. I really like these scrubby pads as filtration. I've used these forever in my aquariums and my hang-on backs. I don't use a lot of hang-on backs in my aquariums anymore. I've gone to a lot of sponge filters, only because once you get up to like 20 aquariums, and anybody will tell you that the amount of electricity that you're using is just it's insane. So to cut back on that, I decided to just go to sponge filters, and every once in a while I'll go and I will use a hang-on back just to clean it up. Like after I do a water change, I'll do one or two hang-on backs with the I'll just put filter floss in there just to clean out the water, get the particles out of it. So we're gonna go over, we're gonna look at the pond, we're gonna put it back in the bucket back in place. We'll see you guys in a minute. So here we go, here's a quick look at my pond. There's my goldfish. It's only about half the pond actually. It goes back about another 3 feet underneath those ferns. So here's how it works. The water flows up from the bottom, goes through all the filter material. And I didn't push those down as far as they'll go. So some of those pads are still out of water. But it goes through that 2-inch cap that I put the holes in. And I put the holes in there because it was the pads were getting over top of the down tube, and it was blocking the flow. So I found that 2-inch cap. If I drilled one hole up underneath so it would fit over, and a bunch of little ones around it, the water still flowed through, and stopped that from happening, and stopped the reduction of flow. But everybody, thank you for watching my video. I highly appreciate it. Happy fish keeping. Thank you very much.